Well, yeah, and it worked. I mean, he came by, he did what I would call a pop by. He came by with a little Halloween bag of goodies. There's no candy, just
So
toys.
when you're saying he came by, we're talking about a 5-year-old, right?
5-year-old. Well, of course, his
Okay.
parents, his mom was in the street, walking him around. But he came in, he rang my doorbell, and he put it on the doorstep and ran. So of course I went out there and said, all curious, like, this is this little guy, what a brave kid. And so I go out there and he's got a rubber skeleton in there. And so I go out there and I sit on the curb with him and I look at all the stuff and I thank him and actually put the rubber skeleton on my mailbox. And he thought that was very, very cool that he actually would get a response from somebody. And so him doing a pop by, I got to meet his mother, who is an attorney, um, and new to the neighborhood. And I will. I've got a package that I put together for him. I noticed that he was doing a graveyard scene out front, and at night you couldn't see it. So I have for my signs, my yard signs, these spotlights that are solar. They charge up during the day and they shine all night. And so I'm going to give him a couple of those along with some 5-year-old um, toys, gifts to match. My point is, that little pop by, little gift that he gave me, um, was very effective. I got to meet his parents. So there you go. Little
Life
pop by.
lessons from a 5-year-old. And that is another lesson, is that people are craving community. So they're willing to go out there, and he spooked you, right? You got spooked.
That was fun. And it said you've been booed by Sebastian. His name is Sebastian. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. And that's a let for everyone. You go ahead and
Well,
do it.
and that's community right now. And we need this all the time, but do we need community more than ever or not, right, you guys? And so that's kind of what I started with is, with the football game, even though the Packers got their butts kicked, I accepted. Wow. It felt good to have that community again. And so that Halloween is a great time. You could just start booing your neighbors, you could create your own boo thing if your neighborhood doesn't have that, right? Sebastian got you. Now you got a new best buddy in the neighborhood, a 5-year-old, and
I
his
will know
mom,
him.
the attorney.
That's right. I will know them forever because of that little bravery that he showed, and a little gift, a little bag that said, "You've been booed by Sebastian."
Well, and it's like, how are you guys going to connect with either strangers like that? That is
Mhm,
so fun, and
mhm.
how easy and how cool. And that little kid is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and he'll probably buy a house from me one day. Who knows?
He will. He will. He definitely will.
I have a question about that. I have a question because I've never heard of that before.
All right.
What do you think inspired him? Why did Sebastian go booing people? What was that about?
I don't know. He was just a kid out having fun with his parents, his mom. I think it's a single mom, not sure. Um, and he wanted to do something for Halloween. After
It's kind
that,
of reverse trick or treat, right?
it
Right.
really
Well,
was.
actually, a lot of neighborhoods do this. Is anyone in a
Right.
They
neighborhood that
do?
does this? Yeah.
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
I know
Our
about kids?
neighborhood, yeah, our neighborhood conducts booing of the neighbors. I mean, there's a long list of houses that participate in it. And then it's just basically putting a gift basket or something together. If they have kids, you put the kids' stuff in there. If they're only adults, you put only the adult stuff in there, and you go and boom. And if it's only adults, you label it. You've been boozed.
Boost.
Yeah,
I like
That
that.
sounds good. I like
all
that
boozed.
one.
Yeah.
Now after the Aldi's, Barb sent me the Aldi's trick or treat tree that you can buy. That's the 12 days of wine. I think
Hmm.
this is the early edition. Yeah, Judy, I was surprised that our neighborhood doesn't boo, and a lot of neighborhoods do. And yet if you don't,
Never even heard of it, but what a great idea.
it's a lot
It's
of
it's really
fun.
a great idea. Good example, Jim. I mean,
There you
we
go.
need to be out there booing or boozing or whatever it is.
I was gonna say,
Boozing is
Hey,
more appropriate in my
you
yeah.
got to
neighborhood.
thank a 5-year-old.
I say, Judy, I say you dominate the neighborhood. Do a boozing.
I think you need to booze everybody from Grape Expectations, right?
All
Yeah.
right, Jessica, let's join forces and do this. Got to hit,
Good idea.
a
Okay.
bunch of homes. I love it.
But
I'll give you my address.
My
yes, Jim
my
wants to be
my
part of it.
yeah, my dumbest, I call it dumbest because it was the least work costume I had when I went, as I called it, Antonio Stark instead of Tony Stark. Okay. I just grew out the beard My daughters trimmed it out like him, mascaraed it and everything. And I just got a t-shirt, one of those Iron Man t-shirts that had the light in the center. And I just grabbed and bought one of those little lights from Home Depot that tap lights, put it underneath the shirt, and just went with jeans. We went to a Comic-Con. The amount of people that were like turning around and looking and their jaws drop. I'm like, what? I haven't done squat. You know? And my daughters were saying, yeah, they think you're Tony Stark. They think you're the real thing. I'm like, no, I'm Tony Stark, maybe.
I like it. I like it. And that's how simple it can be, but how fun, right?
Yeah,
How
it was
fun.
fun. This
So
one
I
little
think,
kid came out and I was like, I just tapped him and he was like, oh my God, oh my God. He ran to his dad saying he found Iron Man. It was cute.
well, you're our Iron Man, Juan. I like it. I like it. Judy, since we have you on, what is one of your best costumes you've ever had for Halloween?
Oh, geez. Well, it's not really Halloween, but the best time I ever had was I was on a cruise with my kids, my husband's daughter, who is now my daughter. Thank you, Kurt, and her soon-to-be husband. And they had one of those thriller dance. What do they call those? Shockers, not a shocker. What's it called?
Oh, like a
But in any
mob?
case,
Like a
a
mob?
mob. Thank you very much. And I love thriller and I love to dance. And so I saw this on the, agenda, the daily agenda. I said, Brittany, let's go and do this dance class. Well, it turned out to occupy our entire cruise. We had to be there every day. We had to take these lessons. And then, of course, we had to come up with these costumes for this mob scene, and we had nothing. So I got this black Cozumel t-shirt I happened to buy, and it had some black leggings. And Brittany, I got chocolate milk powder. I mean, what do you do? Chocolate milk powder from the buffet line and to rub all over our faces. And then she did my eyes up. And, we looked like scary goblins, and we got in this mob scene to Thriller and mobbed the cruise ship on the last night of the cruise or something like that. But it was so much fun. That was the most fun I've ever had, just being in costume and really just, doing something different. It was a blast with my daughter.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Send a picture.
Yep. I was gonna
That
say
should
we
be
need to get some pictures. We got to go on our old Pinterest and Instagrams and find out.
I have it on Facebook somewhere. It's way back there somewhere, but it was good. I'll look it up and post it today. Look for it. I love that for today. Thank you.
Well, the thing is we got to come up with what are we going to do to create energy, if it's just for ourselves and our families or the people around us. So think about that. What are you doing for the rest of you got 2 more solid weeks of October before Halloween? What's something fun you could do, even if it was just sending grandkids a little Halloween card or something? Because, you think about us growing up, Halloween was a really big deal, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yep.
I mean, my mom always went over the top because it's close to my birthday. So it was kind of like my birthday was forever themed Halloween. And yet I just think of how important it was as a kid, and some of these kids are getting gypped. So think about how you could bring some positivity like Sebastian did to Jim. And I think that's such a great lesson today, is a 5-year-old having the courage to knock on the door and boo you. So who are you going to boo? Who are you going to boo? Think about that, because it doesn't have to be a big deal. And yet many of you probably have some costumes you could dust off. Now, I did find, Donna, that did work. That vinegar that you told me to put on my costumes. I had a tote that got full of water somehow, or had enough moisture in there that all these cool costumes got all moldy, and all these wigs that were like hundreds of dollars that you're not going to go buy wigs again. So I did what Donna told me to do, and they all came out beautifully. So thank you.
Yay.
Yay, right? But think about how you're going to create some positive energy in your world today. And there's plenty of ways to do it. It can just start with fun. And it could start with calling your favorite Packer and just harassing them this morning. Like we started our conversation with, because we were certain we were going to go in and win. And Tom Brady gave us a thing or two, which was fun to see. I actually enjoyed the whipping because it was Tom Brady at least getting his pride back after losing to the Bears, because that's got to be even worse. That's got to be right up there with losing to the Jets or Giants or whoever the biggest loser is. I can't remember. Um,
The Vikings.
Yeah.
My Vikings are terrible.
Your Vikings are horrible.
They're
Michelle, most of
horrible.
our family is in Minneapolis. And so some of them just stopped watching altogether.
Yeah, I shut it off yesterday.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I'm really disappointed in Aaron Rodgers because he's usually a true athlete, true fan, true sport. And he just gave up after he threw 2 pick sixes. But I think 2 pick sixes in a row is pretty tough. So I don't know how you recover from that, bad boy. But we didn't.
Nope.
So go Bucks.
Yeah.
Go Bucks, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a crazy week. We got lots of good stuff ahead of us. If any of you are available on Thursday from 5 until 7 at the office, we're doing a re-welcome for anyone that we hired in 2020 because they really didn't get a really proper welcome. They don't know about 3/4 of who we are and what we do and what you can plug into. And we're getting close enough to being able to plug back into the office and get a little more normal again that we thought this would be a fun thing to do. And then immediately following, we're giving Tana a good send off. Plus Jessica Oakley, who's Jessie. I'm going to be Jessica. She's going to be Jessie. We negotiated that. We figured that out. Jessie Austin, now Jessie Oakley, is actually from our area. She went to high school here. She grew up here. So I'm so grateful that God brought us an experienced MCA that loves people and can't wait to meet you guys and is excited to come home. So she'll be there too. So if you can pop in and say, hey, that'd be great. She's going to start November 1st. And we've got Zena working in the office, who for many of you that have been with us for years, Zena was my MCA for years. So I'm lucky because I've got MCA. We won't skip a beat and yet lots of change happening. And we want to give Tana a good send off. So she's excited. She's getting nervous now because things, aren't perfect with the move. So she's stressing out because she's got to go meet movers at noon today. I'm like, dude, go meet the movers. You'll be fine. So give her some love, but she will be out of the office by noon today trying to get some of the move stuff detailed out. And then she'll be in the office the rest of the week. And I'm sure she'd love any love from each of you that you can give her. So let's give her some love. If you can pop by on Thursday, that'd be great. If you can't, we totally understand. It was very quickly planned. And yet Tana has the opportunity to see her son, Adam, for a couple weeks before he goes to, I think he's going to Hong Kong. I could be wrong on that. Or is it Korea? No, it's not Korea. I can't remember exactly where he's going. I think he's going to Hong Kong for 5 years. He's in the army. They're shipping him and his family off. So I told her, get over there and visit with them because you're only going to have these 2 weeks. And how many times you're going to be able to see all those kids. So we're scooching her off fast for a reason because I want her to be able to have that time with her family. And yet don't worry. We'll keep getting the DAs flowing. We'll keep everything rolling. I've got Zena in the background, making sure everything goes smoothly. Yet, if you run into anything, please let me know so I can resolve it because I'm sure the next week might be a little bumpy. Just how it is, right? Okay,
Where do I send you a new agent that is interested in learning more?
You can just call the front desk and we have time set up throughout the week that we meet with people that are considering real estate, in licensing. And we even have a mastermind that we do for them while they're in the licensing process, because for a while there, you couldn't do anything. And a lot of people were worried about losing all their information of what they learned in class before they tested. Well, now they take a test at home, you guys.
Yeah.
No, but they need some prompting because can you imagine getting your whole real estate license without ever talking to anybody?
Yeah, that's crazy. No,
it's
this
crazy.
Is a new
So
agent.
so if you
dropped, that's all.
Yeah. So, and if they're not for our office, they're more for Tampa or Bel Air, we'll connect them with the productivity coaches just to stay engaged with them because the whole licensing process is very bizarro right now. And the number of people getting in the business is really dropping, which is great for us. But it's also taking so long that most of them aren't passing because they just aren't retaining the information because it's, months and months versus weeks. So, so just know we've got kind of a care system for those folks to encourage them during that process a little better, just because it's a little more challenging. And Damari leads masterminds and they get a group together once a week while they're in the process. So if you invite someone into that, we really are all over them. And about 1 out of 10 are passing ever. So just know that the process is much longer. and the rate of passing the test is diminished greatly. But you know what? That's okay too, because we don't need 5,000 new realtors in the industry right now. So it's going to be a technical market that they're going to be getting into. So now is the time, you guys, to sharpen your tools. More than anything. So keep that in mind. Lots of opportunity for you this week. If you go to ubaldinitraining.com, some new special things. I'll put an email out with just highlighting 2 or 3 things. And yet if you can pop in and give Tana some love, I'd really appreciate it, because I know she's going through a lot. Love you guys. Have a great, powerful start to the day. Monday, let's dominate and think about who you're going to boo or booze or Sebastian. And thank you for that inspiration today, Jim. We love it. So you guys have a great rest of your day.